Well, welcome to another edition of Trending Worth Recommending. I'm your host, Corey, and today we have a real special treat for you. We have a special guest, Mr. David Beahm, who is one of New York City's premier event coordinators. He is one of the most fascinating people it has ever been my pleasure to meet, and I'm so excited for you guys to meet him too. So, let's get started.
All right.
So first, we are going to congratulate you on your recent rebranding, because I know you recently launched a new website. So what inspired you to launch a new website and completely rebrand?
I think you always have to keep reinventing yourself. You know, that's why Madonna's still performing at 57 or whatever. She's constantly reinventing it. And I get bored. Like, I was bored with the old site, so you have to come up with it. Do you like it?
I absolutely love your new site.
Good.
As soon as I found out I was meeting you, I immediately went on there and just started exploring. And you're just so multifaceted on there. It was just a pleasure to be able to explore and see what you're all about. And to meet Jim Beahm,
Yeah,
who
you gotta meet
is
Jim.
like adorable.
He's a pistol. But, you know, I think it's very important, especially in our business, to show the breadth of our what we can do, because we don't just do weddings or just do corporate. We do it all, and we have to show that we can do different styles and custom work.
Exactly. It's a very multifaceted industry, and there's just so much going on at one time. And it's just amazing to see all the stuff you're able to accomplish and all the things you've done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, all right. And next, let's get started on your background, because you have a very fascinating background. So I just want to touch a little bit on what got you started in this floral industry.
Well, I guess probably working with my grandmother in her garden, and my godfather was a florist. My dad was in hotel restaurant. I was in show business, and my mom was artsy craftsy, so it all just kind of came together. And I came to this business from Grand Opera. And that really taught me a lot about scale and proportion and lighting and stagecraft and creating a scene, and also how a production must move and be ready to go at a certain time. So it certainly taught me a lot about logistics.
And that was, I believe you have a master's in musical theater?
Mm-hmm. Wow, you did your research.
I know you've worked with people like Pavarotti as well, which I'm a big musical theater person, so when I found that out, I was like, fangirl moment.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming a lot of working with the sets, because I mean you also did Traveling with Broadway,
Mm-hmm.
where you brought, you know, the show to all different locations.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming working with these large sets that you have to break down and put back up, and with a quick turnaround time really helps with this.
Absolutely, you could, and that's what I say. You know, we basically do a Broadway show, and the invitation's at 6 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock it's out the door.
Exactly. So, it's really is a marvel.
It's fun, and it's a puzzle. Each party has different requirements and different logistics. So that's what makes the job fun.
And I mean, your events are just out of this world. And I believe you said, like, something along the lines of, like, if you dream it, you can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one of those things. I see these events that you've done, and just the scale and the grandeur, everything is just impeccable.
Well, thank you. And we also say you got the money, we got the time. So, you know, events are not an inexpensive proposition, but I believe we're creating memories that last a lifetime, to be cliche. But I really want people to walk into one of our parties and never forget it. And that's sort of a goal for every party.
And from what I've seen, you accomplish that goal quite often.
Thank you.
So, recently you attended the Field of Vases tour,
Mm-hmm.
which, do you mind giving a little bit of a background just for some of the people out there that aren't really familiar with the tour and your experiences with them?
I don't know that much about it because I'm just learning about that, but it's really wonderful, and it's American flower focused, and knowing the people who grow your flowers and keeping them using local flowers helps the environment. So I think it's a wonderful movement. TV Flora sponsored part of it, and it was such a pleasure to be there and to be a guest. I think you're going to hear a lot more about the farm to vase movement, much like, I pointed out, people know where their wine comes from, where their beef comes from. How could you not know where your flowers come from? Because it's the same process. And I think we need to educate people on appreciating flowers. They are a necessity in our life. And I think we forget how necessary green and life is to our soul.
Very true. And I know that I see it a lot here. A lot of customers are starting to be more cognizant of where they're getting, sourcing stuff from. Local is becoming like, not to say the new Dutch product, but it's very much a part of these events. If you can get local, keep it within your area, or if you can't get it local, keep it within, the United States and try and source something from California or Florida.
Well, I think one makes sense, and sometimes aesthetically makes sense. If I'm doing a local, say, farm wedding, you need to use local flowers. You can't use tropicals.
Exactly.
So I think aesthetically it makes sense.
And I also feel like sometimes when you get to know the farmers from the local farms, it makes it come full circle when you get to meet the people that grow it, and then they get to see how you utilize the stuff they grew, and it's rewarding. It's
rewarding, and also, in our society with our phones, we're so disconnected. So to start reconnecting people, I think, is very important.
I agree with you on that one. You also actually, I believe you said it was in December, you acquired a new farm called Thistledew.
Thistledew.
I absolutely love the name.
Well, actually, the people I bought it from sent me an article and about the people who raised it. It was abandoned, and in the 50s was redone, and they named it Thistledew because it sounded like this'll-do. And when I bought the farm, I said, well, this'll-do. So it had to be.
That's fantastic. And so I'm assuming you have someone there and you're growing your own product now.
Some, one of our parties could wipe the whole farm out.
I can imagine.
So we're experimenting with farming. Actually, one reason we're here today is to find out what we can grow for you all and make that happen. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on the farm. But also, it does my soul good to dig in the dirt. And Jim loves the country, so.
I can imagine, because I've seen pictures of him on the farm, and it's just.
Yeah, he's a country dog. He's not so much a city dog.
Well, yeah, there's grass and all the good stuff.
And the creek, and deer poop.
Oh, dog's favorite.
Yeah.
I groomed dogs for 3 years.
Yeah.
I know all about that one. But so how do you choose what crops you're growing? Because I believe you said you were growing dahlias before and you had some issues with them.
Yeah, well, right now we're just in the experimental stage of, one, understanding the land and understanding what's going to grow well there. And then, two, I've made a significant investment in the farm and high house and stuff like that. It would be nice to make some money. So it has to be a soul and an artistic decision, but it also has to be a profitable one.
Wonderful. Let's see. And are you trying to incorporate some of your own blooms into the events that you're doing?
As much as we can, absolutely. And that's really rewarding to be able to look at a bride and say, these are from my farm here. So it's very nice.
That's got to be amazing.
Yeah.
And so, in the future, what are your hopes for Thistledew?
I'm still formulating that. It is very much my home. It is an escape from the city. I lived in New York City for 20 years and it treated me very nicely, but it's very nice to go home to a quiet place. And I want it to remain a quiet place, but I also want to work on it so that it becomes a destination for photo shoots and for filming and producing at the same time. And you have to also come meet the chickens. The fresh eggs.
We can't leave out the chickens.
the fresh eggs make it all worth. But to have a chicken named Phyllis Diller who hops up in the air this high, that makes you smile. And if that's all I get out of that farm, that works.
I love your attitude towards all this. It's refreshing.
Well, thank you.